Clarissa.
Peter. But you're in India.
No. No, didn't you get my last letter? I said I'd be here in June.
No. Your last letter said that you might be back, but I never suspected it.
Ah.
It's extraordinary how Peter can put me in this state just by coming here. He looks awfully well. It's heavenly to see you again, Peter.
I arrived last night.
Playing with his knife.
How is everything? How are you?
So like him.
How's Richard?
Oh, Richard's with some committee or other. Something to do with his constituency.
What's this? What's all this here?
I'm mending my dress. It's for my party tonight, which I shan't invite you to, my dear Peter.
Why? Why won't you ask me?
It is extraordinary that you've shown up this morning. I've been thinking about Borden all day.
I heard about your father. I should have written to you, of course. Though I never really got on with him.
But he never liked anyone who...
Who wanted to marry you?
Herbert has Borden now. I never go there. And what happened to you?
Millions of things. Shall I tell you? Shall I make a clean breast of it? I'm in love. I'm in love with a girl in India.
And who is she? A younger woman, of course.
Well, I'm not old, you know. My life isn't over, not by any means. Though you, of course, think me a failure, which I suppose I am compared to all this.
But who is she? Tell me.
A married woman, unfortunately. She's the wife of a major in the Indian Army. She has 2 young children, a boy and a girl, and it's a bit of a mess. And I'm here to see the lawyers about a divorce. She's called Daisy.
Yes? Yes. But what shall you do?
Oh, the lawyers and solicitors, they're going to do it.
For heaven's sake, leave that knife alone.
I know what I'm up against. I know what I'm up against. Well, it's all up. Here am I behaving like a fool, weeping, being emotional. I've probably annoyed you at turning up at this hour, and I've told you everything as usual. Are you happy, Clarissa? Does Richard...
Excuse me, ma'am. The gentlemen are here from Rumpelmayer's.
Oh, thank you, Lucy.
Goodbye, Clarissa.
My party tonight. Please come to my party tonight.
always tie me up with your Queen's Gambit, Brightcop?
It's my turn to shuffle, Herbert.
Friend of ours.
She's gonna marry that man.
I went under the sea. I have been dead. But now I'm alive. Oh, I must rest, Sil. Rest.
Septimus, I'm going to ask someone the time. I think we have to go now.
There's nowhere to go. Nowhere to hide.
Septimus, you know we are going to see a doctor who will help you.
No more doctors! No more lies!
Septimus, please.
Alfie.
Evans? Evans! For God's sake, don't come!
Septimus, it isn't Evans, all right? It isn't Evans. There's nothing to worry about. The man is not Evans. Really, he isn't. Come on. Let's go for a walk. It's a nice day.
One of the triumphs of modern civilization. Good afternoon. Number 12, please. Thank you.
And this came for you, Mr. Walsh.
Thank you. Thank you.
Peter, it was heavenly to see you. I must tell you that. Clarissa.
She simply would not wear her furs at the garden party at Buckhouse, and it was bitterly cold. Richard.
Oh, dear, it's going to be a failure, a complete failure.
How delightful of you to come.
Lovely to see you.
We're delighted to see you.
Glad you could come, Reggie.
Why do I do it?
How lovely of you to come.
It was nice of you to invite me.
Mr. Peter Walsh.
Peter, you came. How delightful to see you.
Peter, back from India, eh?
Yes, back from India.
Must be years since we've seen you.
Oh, it was a mistake to invite him. He'll know no one. He's sorry he's come.
How nice
And he's
of you.
criticizing me. I know he is. Accusing me of being insincere. Why do I do these things? Why seek pinnacles and stand drenched in fire? I feel burned to a cinder.
Miss Henderson.
Better that than to dwindle away like Ellie Henderson.
Ellie, I'm so glad you've come.
It's so grand.
Oh, dear, why can't she at least stand up properly? Well, I suppose it's her weaponless state.
Wonderful to see you again.
Richard, how lovely.
Their Graces, the Duke and Duchess of Marlborough.
A duke?
Oh, why did the Marlboroughs have to follow Ellie Henderson?
Clarissa.
They must wonder what kind of people I invite to my parties.
Clarissa, how lovely to see you.
Oh,
Thank you so much for inviting
Bertie,
us.
how lovely of you to come.
It's a disaster. The party's a disaster. I'm humiliated. And now there's Peter wandering off. I'm speak to him, but I won't get the chance. I know it. Life's like that. He thinks I'm absurd. Oh, it's too much of an effort. I'm not enjoying it at all. I feel like a stake driven in at the top of these stairs.
Delighted to see you.
Good to see you, Colonel.
Mr. Hugh Whitbread.
How did you find Evelyn today?
Oh, bearing up, bearing up.
I shall visit her tomorrow. I do hope she hasn't read Lady Asquith's memoirs.
Oh, I doubt it. Not Evelyn. She's not a great reader.
Lady Bruton.
Lady Bruton, so she came.
My dear Clarissa.
Maybe she doesn't dislike me as much as I thought she did.
The essential condition for a study of Milton, an in-depth study of Milton. Oh, a momentary sensation of an embrace.
Oh, it's not a failure after all. It's going to be all right. Oh, it's still touch and go, but it's begun. My party has begun.
Lady Rossiter.
Lady Rossiter? Who on earth can that be?
Clarissa!
Sally?
That voice.
Sally Seaton.
Goodness, she didn't look like that when she kissed me by the fountain.
How wonderful to
It's
see you.
extraordinary to see her again. She's older, she's happier, but less lovely. But, oh, how wonderful that she's come to my party.
Here in front of me was your Aunt Helena.
Oh, Sally, I've been thinking about Borden all day.
Oh, have you? Have you?
The Prime Minister.
Wonderful. Oh, my goodness, Sally, I must go. Where's Richard?
Sorry, Ellie. Duty calls.
Oh, how delightful to see you.
Very sweet of you. Unfortunately, my wife couldn't come for some
Clarissa is looking well, considering how ill she's been.
I know that Richard was very worried about her. MPs' wives really shouldn't get ill. I believe it was her heart. I think you can always pull yourself together. Mind over matter.
Oh, you know, don't you? You painted your wife that lovely picture. They're going to hang it on.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Jim Hartford.
Peter!
Prime Minister, do you know Lord and Lady Asquith?
Peter Walsh!
Violet, let me get
Lord!
Sally Seaton.
Lady Rossiter now.
Don't be absurd.
It's true. Lady Rossiter. We live in Manchester, and I have 5 enormous boys. Either my eyes are deceiving me, which I doubt, or that's Ellie Henderson. It's our old vicar's daughter. She's gaping at the Prime Minister. Oh, do bring her over before she disgraces herself and faints with astonishment.
Lord Nixon. Prime Minister, how nice to see you.
What would you like? Some nice beef we
She's always looked delicate to me, but such charm.
Richard would have done a great deal better if he'd married a woman with less charm and more backbone. Would have helped him in his work. He's lost his chance in the cabinet.
Lady Bruton. And Lady Beth.
How very nice to see you.
Lord, what snobs the English are. How they love dressing up and doing homage. Listen to them.
We keep her there during the summer.
Rather hear baboons chatter and coolies beat their wives.
Still the same old Peter. Still playing with your pocket knife.
Oh, that's delicious.
It is delicious, isn't it?
We're not all the same, Peter. My husband may have his own cotton mill now, but he was a miner's son. And when he...
Oh, you're too kind, Master.
Oh, look. Look. Isn't that Hugh Whitbread?
What a toady. What an obsequious toady. He's not changed at all. How can she bear him?
It still makes you angry.
Look at her. Intoxicated by it all, thinking she's brilliant.
Don't be too hard on her. After all, parties are a kind of performance. She has to give a performance. It isn't the real Clarissa.
No, the real Clarissa was lost years ago.
Prime Minister, can I introduce our daughter?
I'm sure if you were alone with her, you'd find the old Clarissa again.
Fat chance of that this evening.
Richard so enjoyed your luncheon party.
Oh, Richard was most encouraging and has promised to drop my little idea into the right ear.
He and the Prime Minister are having a quiet word now, before he leaves.
My plan would save the government a fortune. Maybe Richard is sowing the seeds this very minute. Isn't that Peter Walsh talking to old Miss Parry?
Yes, that's Peter.
Dear Peter, so very sharp and clever. Should have made a name for himself. But he was always in some trouble with women.
Do come and say hello to him.
Now, Peter, we can get it straight from the horse's mouth. What is going on in India?
Well, a great deal. Lady Bruton is a very complex issue.
It's a tragedy. If my father, the general, were alive, he'd sort them out. Hey, Miss Parry.
Clarissa, I must speak with you, please allow.
Peter, I must go and deal with Sir William and Lady Bradshaw. We'll talk later, I promise.
You should see the orchids in Burma. Ravishing.
Awfully good of you to come.
We are shockingly late, dear Mrs. Dalloway.
She's disappeared. Do you think she went upstairs? She can't have gone to bed, can she?
No, no. She couldn't leave her own party.
Well, I don't know. I didn't know she'd been ill.
Stop worrying, Peter.
He threw himself out of the window, and he's thrown his life away.
You were going to write, I remember. Have you written anything?
Not a word. Not a solitary word.
But then...
Do you remember the night we went boating on the lake?
Yes, I remember thinking she's abandoned me. And then, all of a sudden, she was there with her hand stretched out, looking utterly beautiful, saying, "Come on, come on. They're all waiting." Why wouldn't she marry me, Sally?
She was afraid.
Your parents just hand it to you, life, to be lived right through to the end. We must walk it serenely, but in the depths of my heart, there's been an awful fear sometimes that I couldn't go on. Without Richard, sitting there calmly reading the Times, while I crouched like a bird and gradually revived, I might have perished.
I looked across the room and wondered, who's that lovely girl? And then I realized That's my daughter.
Maybe she needed someone who found life simple. She certainly cared for you, more than she cared for Richard.
Well, my life isn't simple. My relationship with her wasn't simple. She broke my heart. And you can't love like that twice.
What makes us go on? What sends roaring up in us that immeasurable delight to surprise us? Then nothing can be slow enough. Nothing lasts too long. And you want to say to each moment, stay, stay, stay.
I cherish the friendship I had with Clarissa. There was something pure about her. She had such charm, such generosity. I can see her to this day, going about the house all in white. She always seemed to be in white, and her arms were full of flowers. And I wondered, does absence really matter? Does distance? You'll think me sentimental, and so I am. But I've come to believe that the only thing worth saying is what you really feel.
But I don't know what I feel. I know that I loved her once, and that it stayed with me all my life, and colored everything.
I must go back to my party, to Sally and Peter. That young man killed himself, but I don't pity him. I'm somehow glad he could do it, throw it away. It's made me feel the beauty, somehow feel very like him, less afraid.
I have to go.
Do you think he's made her happy?
Who can tell, Peter? All our relationships are just scratches on the surface. We thought he wasn't very bright, but what does the brain matter?
Compared to the heart.
There you are.
Peter and Sally haven't left, have they?
Don't know.
Clarissa! Oh. I couldn't leave without saying goodbye.
But you can't leave until you've danced with me.
Peter's in the library.
Here I am at last,